Good afternoon, my children. How are you? I am not extremely well now. I hope that you are also well by the grace of God. Although the coronavirus is running to each of the persons of the world, and that is why you are staying at your home, and I am also staying at my home. That is why I am telling to each of the students in class 10 to our institution, don't try to waste your valuable time in useless matters. Always read your lessons attentively. Although you are staying at your home, and also I am staying at my home, and the epidemics, corona epidemics is existing all over the world, and I have come here to provide an important chapter from our text. The name of the chapter is Animals. The name of the poem, Walt Whitman. The name of the poem is Animals, and the name of the poet is Walt Whitman. Firstly, I want to ask you that, are you engaging with your studies? I hope that you will always try to engage with your studies. I am telling to each of the students in class 10, don't try to move outside without taking the permission from your guardian. I hope that you will always try to stay at your home, and you will always try to maintain the rules and regulations of coronavirus, and you will always try to wear the masks, and you will always try to maintain the social distance and all the existing rules and regulations of coronavirus. I hope that. Now I am going to teach you an important poem of our English text. The name of the poem is Animals. The poet is Walt Whitman. In this poem, the poet Walt Whitman shows a great relation between human and animals. He himself shows a great relation between human and animals, and that is why he wants to live with animals than the humans. He wants to turn and live with animals because he feels more at home with animals than the humans. He hardly says that animals are self-contained, and they are so placid. He feels more at home with animals than the humans. The poet himself shows a great relation between the human and the animals. He always stays with the animals, and he looks at the animals if they feel tired, and that is why he always stays with the animals. He always looking at the animals, and he collects their food. There is a difference between the animals. There is a difference between the animals and the humans. But the poet did not think like that, because he always wants to live with the animals. Because he says here that animals are so placid and self-contained. The animals are so placid and self-contained than the humans. So he wants to turn and live with animals than the humans. Regarding here, the poet Walt Whitman says that animals do not whine. The animals do not want to tired. The animals do not want to tired and swear about their conditions. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make anybody sick, and they are not satisfied, they are not dissatisfied, and they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. The animals are so placid. Dear my children, this is very important chapter. This is very important poem. The poet always likes the animals. He always nearby them. He always stays nearby them. And that is why the poet tells here that he always likes the animals and he always live with the animals than the humans. Because humans are very complicated. We do not understand the motives of the humans, but the animals are always satisfied. The animals are not critically animals. The animals are not critical. The animals are very satisfied. The animals are very placid and self-content than the humans. That is why the poet says here that the animals do not sweat and whine about their conditions. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Because if they kills any animal, if they kill any animal, he never remain in sorrowness. He never remains in sorrowness because he always live peacefully. He always lives peacefully. That is why animals are so placid. The poet himself says here that he dropped his loves to the animals at a time. He dropped his loves to the animals at a time, and he feels that he dropped his love for the animals, and he himself here sacrificed them. There are some tokens, there are many tokens, and those tokens he always want to protect only for the betterment of the animals. The animals are so placid because animals are very satisfied. They are not dissatisfied. They are not winning for winning the property, and they are not many of owning things. They are not the many of owning things. They are always satisfied. The animals are so placid. The poet says here that he dropped these tokens for the animals. The tokens are love, kindness, sympathy, and affections. Those tokens, at the time he dropped it for the animals. And that is why the animals are always thinking for the poet. That means will to wait man. The will to wait man is a very natural poet. He always try to keep the animals in quiet. For the end, don't you? That means I want to tell to each of the students, if you don't understand any meaning of this word, you may contact to me, and where I am staying, from where I will try to discuss with you, and I will try to discuss with you. If you find any difficulty, if you find any complexity, whenever you are going to read something, whenever you are going to write something on regarding this chapter, regarding this poem, you may phone call to me, and Thank you.